In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Togi Entertainment or its partners.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and we have such a fantastic show today. I'm so excited, Robin. We've got a best-selling author. We've got Dwight Jon Zimmerman coming on, and he's written on all these military history subjects, and he has a book on the New York Times bestseller list this week, so that's very cool. And we're going to bring Lori Bell on from NAMMAS, and she's going to talk about the event that's coming up next week, which is Prosper Where You're Planted Boost Camp, which I think that's pretty cool. And we're going to welcome Steve Appelbaum. And he is a former United States Air Force person who is now president of Animal Behavior College. He should have been on last week, Robin, when we were talking about the service dogs.
I know, and I can't wait to talk to him about all of the things that he does with at the Animal Behavior College. I just think that's so cool. And I love the little picture that we posted of him with his babies.
His babies. I know. I'm like, I think the Basset Hound is named Truffles, which I just got such a kick out of.
So sweet. But we have a woman in our church who has a service dog, and I'm just so, I am always fascinated and so enchanted. I guess that's not really the right word, enchanted, but just in awe of what these service dogs can do, what they do accomplish, what the training is just incredible. So I'm really excited to talk to him about that.
Me, and I just can't wait to get my own service dog to do the laundry. That's just my big thing right now. I hear they can push the button.
Well, they can do just about everything. When you stop and think of people who have some physical limitations, those dogs do. Whether it's going to get the phone when it rings, going to pick up something or whatever, it's amazing what they do. I'm really amazed by them. So
it is. Well, and I'm frustrated today, Rob. I got to tell you, my second refrigerator in 3 weeks.
That's really crazy. And with the heat, as you were saying, you have out there right now, this is not just an inconvenience. This is really serious.
No, I know. I could poison my kids. I had to throw everything out for the second time in 2 weeks. And I can't, like when I was home in Buffalo this time of year, I could put it in a cooler on the porch, put some ice in it, or, if it's wintertime, leave it outside. But when it's this hot, I'm afraid I'll poison everybody. And, it's just been really frustrating. But when we're talking about this, you came up with this great company online that can ship cakes or something like that. That to me is
that's really not quite the smoothest segue, but
it's just that's what you do when it's 100 degrees, the air conditioning's not working, and your refrigerator's broken. That's as good as it gets.
Well, this is true. We've always thought we'd love to send things over to the guys and gals that are overseas, but we always have to be careful of what we're sending because of the heat, because of the transportation. So you just can't send a cheesecake over there. But we had in one of the groups, actually it was in the Parents of Deployed Service Members group that we follow, someone inquired about websites that will send birthday cakes overseas. And there were 2 that were cited in the conversation. One was wireacake.com. The other one was bakemeawish.com, both of which will ship over to APO addresses. Both will do something custom to your service member. And I think Wire a Cake even does some real special things, because I save them on my inbox here. They're affiliated with soldiersangels.org. So if you'd like to sponsor a soldier and are not sure, Soldiers Angels will find them on your behalf and get a cake to them. Isn't that so cool?
That is. And you said they both go to APO and FPO?
I don't see FPO, but I do see APO. So
okay.
I guess it's a matter of checking with them depending on where your service member is. But I see the wireacake.com. I've got their website up right now, and they are a member of the Angel Team of Bakers for Soldiers Angels organization. So I just think that that's wonderful, and we'll give a salute and a shout out to them. They also do corporate catering and corporate cakes and those kinds of things too. So we would want to let people know that they are full service bakeries. So
that is really fun, because, it's like you saw what I did with those, what were they, pumpkin pie in a jar that turned out like hockey pucks. For those of you that are, nutritionally and bakingly challenged like I am, what a great thing to just pop on the internet, order the cake, and have it go.
It's wonderful. Plus, know that it's being shipped carefully and properly. Sometimes you try to ship something over, but you don't know what conditions it's being shipped or being stored, or where in the plane gets a layover or whatever. I guess they just have their direct line and they get those cakes over there in perfect shape. So,
yeah, really, mine would come and there'd be like a bucket of crumbs probably filled with ants.
Oh, gosh. Well, it is difficult. I know when we have Operation Gratitude is starting to gear up, and we always are looking for things, food type things, that are going to sustain the shipments. I don't have Operation Gratitude up right this moment on my website, on their website, but they must be gearing up for some of their big shipments coming up real soon.
They are, and later in the month, this month, we're going to have some representatives from OpGrat coming on talking about, what they're doing with their care packages, because this time of year we really ramp up. I mean, the scarves are in, the supplies are in, and I believe that we start packaging them in, I think it was right around early November. I can't remember.
I think so too, and I know it has to go out fairly quickly, but the one thing that's so special about Operation Gratitude is that an individual box goes to an individual soldier, and that one troop gets his or her own very own box. So that is just such that's such an incredible achievement for Carolyn Blashek to be able to accomplish this, to be able to give each and every one of those troops something very special from home. And people around the country can start shipping in. We do have a smaller version of that over here on the East Coast called More Mart, and we've had Girl Scout troops do pack and collect for them. They send things over in Christmas stockings, or they have unique boxes that go over as well. So,
and the packing is super fun, Rob. I've done it a bunch of times, and you get to meet people from all walks of life. So, I think it's 16 when they cut the kids off, but there's teenagers there, and then there are veterans. Like, there were all those cool World War II veterans last time that, like, they just told us stories the whole time we were packing. And the other thing that was really cool is there's a lot of labor that has to be done sitting down, and I was amazed at the number of senior citizens and disabled veterans that came in wheelchairs, and they were parked at these long, like, buffet tables, and they were hand addressing each one of these packages. So it was kind of like, future and past coming together with present, and it just was really moving, because, like, at Arlington Cemetery, where you see all the the white headstones, it reminded me of that in a positive way, with all these white United States post office shipping boxes, and each one of those represented one of our servicemen and women around the world, and it was really humbling.
I can only imagine, especially the magnitude that you're talking at. Is it at an armory or?
Yeah, it was at the National Guard Armory in Van Nuys, and I think we processed something like 600,000 over that like 10-day span of time. I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's not automated. You hand your box to the person next to you, and you stuff whatever it is you're stuffing, and all the back stock is on a table underneath, and you're shoulder to shoulder, and I thought it was really fun. I just thought it was so great.
Amazing. Just an amazing endeavor. And I encourage everybody to go to upgratitude.org. Is that correct, Sandra?
There's a bunch of them. If you just type in Operation Gratitude, it'll take you there.
It will. It's such a marvelous organization. But they do have lists in there of things that they do need, the types of things that one might send over there, whether it's scarves, whether it's chapstick, whether it's
Halloween candy.
Halloween candy.
I was at the candy station one year. I think I gained 20 pounds.
I was going to say, how much went in the box, Sandra? Oh, it's just such an amazing endeavor. So we really cheer those folks and encourage everybody to participate. Write Christmas cards and send them to Operation Gratitude. They will put those individual cards in each box. I think those notes and letters from home really do make such a difference. That people have said time and time again that they cherished those handwritten notes that they've gotten. So
and the pictures of the kids drawing little pictures from elementary school. I saw those ones stuffed in a helmet.
Oh, how sweet. Oh, that's wonderful. We have, from time and time again, talked about this, and of course we will do more so in a couple of weeks when we have those folks on. We do encourage everybody to go seek them out on the website. And we've had a couple of visits in the past too, so check out our past podcasts on iTunes and right here on the TogiNet homepage that we have, our show page that's right here on the TogiNet station. Sandra, we do have a busy show coming up. Lori Bell is the founder and chairperson of the National Association of Military Moms and Spouses. I can't wait to hear what Lori has to talk about today because, boy, she sure does have so many interesting things for the military families. And I am looking forward to meeting Steve Appelbaum, the founder of the Animal Behavior College.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Ready to get your woohoo on? From business and branding to babies, best-selling books, and personal breakthroughs? Then it's time to tune in to Woohoo Radio, Love, Life, Business, and the Pursuit of Happiness with your host, Lisa Stedman, Wednesday afternoons at 4 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Using her signature blend of inspiration, motivation, and kick-butt action, best-selling author and chief woohoo woman Lisa Stedman wants to help you discover the woohoo that only you can do. Lisa will show you how to create your signature woohoo way of love, life, business, and the pursuit of happiness without losing yourself. If you're tired of a one-size-fits-all approach to career, relationships, and personal growth, get your weekly woohoo on with Lisa and her rock star guests as they reveal their personal stories of bouncing back from boohoo of rock bottom into the woohoo of love, life, business, and the pursuit of happiness. Check out her website, lisastedman.com. Join us for Woohoo Radio, Love, Life, Business, and the Pursuit of Happiness. Wednesday afternoons at 4 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to be a rock star. Get ready to rock with Rock Talk and Craig Deswald and learn how to achieve rock star status in your industry every Tuesday afternoon at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Craig Deswald is the creator of the Rockstar System for Success. Craig will share easy tips and strategies on how entrepreneurs and businesses can use outside-the-box marketing strategies to stand out from their competition. Each high-energy show will feature interviews with celebrity rock stars as well as business rock stars. For more on Craig, the show, and the Rockstar Marketing Boot Camps, check out the website, CraigDuswalt.com, so you can learn how to be perceived as an expert and celebrity in your field, so more people come to you to buy your services and products. Then, get ready to be a rock star with Rock Talk and Craig Duswalt. Tuesday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and in just a minute, we're going to welcome Lori Bell. She is the president of NAMMAS, which is the National Association of Military Moms and Spouses, which is a really, really great, powerful group. It's been featured all over the national media. She was our military, I think she was Military Spouse of the Year, Rob. I can't remember. We've had Lori on in the past, but they're putting together, NAMMAS is putting together next week this Prosper Where You're Planted boot camp or boost camp. And I want to read just a little bit about this event because I think it's really, really important, and I think it's really, really touching. I know it touched my heart. It says, in today's fast-paced and ever-changing military lifestyle, you cannot survive on hoping and wishing for better circumstances, waiting for deployments to be over, the PCS to end, the kids to leave, or maybe at our next base, which is where most of us end up, putting our dreams on the shelf till another time. At Prosper Where You're Planted Boost Camp, you'll learn a simple and powerful system that will show you step by step how to create the life you want with the military life you get. That, to me, right there, that like almost brought me to tears because it's how you Can you hear me?
There, can you hear me now?
I'm back and you're back,
Oh,
Rob.
I
How
guess
funny
this
is
was
that?
That was really strange. I was starting to say, you're right, Sandra, the life you want with the life you get. What an amazing mantra that is. Lori, hello, are you with us?
I'm here.
There! We've got three on the line at the same time.
Well, God, don't see it. You're going to jinx it, Robin.
Wow. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Lori, you got a house full over there, I hear.
Yes, we do. It is after school. It is that crazy period where it's like whatever energy they did not put out in the classroom or in the playground, they are bringing it home for me. So it's a nice welcome home for Mommy.
So this is broadcast where you're planted right now.
Right.
That's beautiful. You know what? I'm sorry. I like having the noise of children in the background. You just, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Lori, tell us about your event coming up. It's just I just wish I could go. I'm too far away. I think, Rob, so are you.
I am, and I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. You know, I'm telling you, the vision for this is way beyond me, and I already see it being on tour. I already see the Prosper Where You're Planted tour, where we'll get to go to reserve bases, guard bases, up and down the east and west coast, and we're going to hit some major installations where people feel the hurt and the pain, and we're going to bring the boost camp experience right to the people who need it. But for right now, it's in Washington, D.C., and I am so excited. This has been like the longest pregnancy I've ever had. I have had this thing in me for a long time, and I didn't realize, you know, what you teach, you most need to learn. And so I found that as I've walked through some things since leaving active duty, I didn't realize how screwed up I was. And thank goodness I made it out alive, and I can tell the story. But what this boot camp is a culmination of strategies and some really real solutions to the answer of, what do I do? You know, I just left the military, and you lose a sense of purpose sometimes when women leave, and or I'm retiring, or here I am. Another deployment is upon us, another PCS. It's like, when is it my turn? And that was a question I always asked. When is it my turn? I did not grow up thinking I want to be a military spouse when I get older. I didn't even grow up saying I wanted to serve in the military when I got older. But it just seemed like, that's the title we wear. We're military spouse. And we are expected to take a lot. We're expected to be resilient and to endure a lot. But I believe that there is a heart cry for the spouse, the mom, the veteran, the entrepreneur who wants to launch a dream. And it's just like, where is the roadmap? How do I do this and stay authentically me and really do what I'm born to do and be happy about it? And what I've learned is it does not have to be as hard as we make it.
Well, and I think, Lori, what you said just resonated with me. It's like I grew up playing with, Barbie and Ken in the dream house, not G.I. Joe. So
right.
It wasn't in my kind of system to have a lifestyle, like this. I'm sure that's true of many of our military wives and mothers. And you just go, okay, it's the life you get. Now what do you do with it?
Right. Yeah. And, as president of NAMMAS, there are so many new members we get. We're about 2,500 members now, I think. And many of them are first-time entrants into the military. Some of our youngest members are 18 years old. And it's like, okay, so here I am. We're about to move. And when we get there, he's going to deploy. So what do I do with this new lifestyle? I mean, I just graduated high school. And what is this about? So what I found is the Department of Defense has been really good at providing resources for new spouses and how to get through a deployment, how to keep your marriage together and budget. But then there is nothing that speaks to the spirit, like the heart of the spouse who is struggling with herself. How do I deal with me and these emotions that I don't like where I am right now? I'm a mom, but it's really not what fulfills me. I have some stuff that I want to do. So that's what Boot Camp is about. It is about helping the spouse, the mom, the entrepreneur, whatever, create the life she wants with the military life she gets, and realizing that where you are is where you're supposed to be.
Well, and I love that because part of that, whole thing of, having your dreams, a lot of that does get put on hold. And, and it's like you're serving your country by taking care of your family while your family member serves. And, it's almost like you're not supposed to say, well, wait a minute, what about me?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly it. And so, as the DOD puts out the resources for all the families to actually, manage military lifestyle, I noticed there was a gap in that heart and soul piece. And so I thought, wow, I mean, I've walked through some things and learned some things and have some lessons to share. And I think this is going to be the transformational point for a lot of people who are coming to this particular boot camp as well as future ones. This is going to be the catalyst that helps them launch out, be themselves, be the creative, authentic self and do the thing that you're created to do and really serve. Because, see, we're used to serving. We volunteer. We know how to serve our families and all that. But I'm talking about using your gifts and talents right where you are to create that awesome dream life and live it right now.
Right, not waiting to the next base, not waiting till the next deployment.
Lori, how long is this boost camp, and is there a possibility of any of these workshops? Oh, my cat's playing the piano.
That's funny.
Any of these to be on the stream? Are you streaming any of these sessions?
For this one, no, but it's going to be covered in 4 modules. And right now it's going to be audio recorded. It's the first one, and we're kind of like, okay, so how are we going to do it? It's kind of like we're building the plane as we fly it, really. And We're just kind of doing it, and then I think as we get a little better, we're going to see how to better broadcast it. But that is a future goal, to stream it. Right now, it's a live event in National Harbor at the Aloft Hotel in Washington D.C. area. People can go on the website at NAMMASboostcamp.com and register. We're just 2 weeks out. The space is very limited. I wanted it to be an intimate setting so we can really touch the heart of these ladies and love on them in such a way that they leave empowered. That's the goal. I want people to leave empowered to go and empowered to do, but as well resting in the place where they are, because there's lessons to be learned where you are. So it's a delicate balance in doing and resting.
There is. I have a hard time with that because I'm either going 100 miles an hour
right.
or I'm doing nothing at all. And when I do nothing at all, I feel like I'm missing out.
And for instance, I use the Prosper Where You're Planted principle at a dinner party. There was somebody there that I really wanted to talk to, but meanwhile I was engaged in conversation with this other person. So I'm looking over that person's shoulder going, I want to talk to that other one. And I just heard the voice inside me go, rest, relax. Where you are is where you're supposed to be. Engage with this person. Connect with her. And I had to kind of go, okay, relax. Don't put that pressure on yourself to go and exit this conversation, to go and hook up with somebody else. Where I needed to be was talking to this particular person. And, by the end of the night, I'd connected with her as well as the other person with a photo and exchange of contact information and all of that. So everything always works out when you just kind of chill out and just, not try to make things happen so hard. We try so hard to make it work. And I don't think that's definitely the opposite of resting.
Definitely.
It's not about making it work and going for it and, who can I call? And entrepreneurs have the worst time with this because we got to grow our business, and especially those who are direct sellers. Every time we move, you got to build up a client base again. And so it's like, how do I get out there? How do I get out there bigger and better and bolder and all of that? And a lot of times it's just, let's listen to what our inner voice is saying here and follow that flow. And what I found that when you follow the flow, it's like divine creativity. It's like you are flowing. I just once I learned how to do this, blessings came to me. Opportunities and open doors came to me. I didn't have to figure it out anymore. It was like I'm set. I'm just kind of in the groove. Whereas a lot of the things
Lori,
that
we're going to have to say thank you so much, and we're going to direct everybody to go to www.NAMMAS.org for more information about Prosper Where You're Planted Boost Camp. That's October 13th, 2012. Lori, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Up next is Steve Appelbaum with the Animal Behavior College. Back in a moment.
Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Everyday Autism Miracles with Shannon Penrod. Friday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Life after an autism spectrum diagnosis doesn't have to be difficult. It can be joyful, happy, and filled with hope. Join Shannon Penrod, author, speaker, coach, and mom of a 6-year-old recovering from autism for this inspirational hour of hope. She's even authored a series of children's autism books with her son, Jim. For more information about the books, Shannon, and Everyday Autism Miracles, go to her website, ShannonPenrod.com. From there, you can also get to her other websites, blogs, and connections. On Everyday Autism Miracles, you'll hear stories from parents whose children have made miraculous strides. You'll also get the inside dish on therapies, treatments, supplements, and how to get funding to help you afford them. Miracles abound in the autism community, so tune in for Everyday Autism Miracles to listen, share, laugh, and surround yourself with hope. Everyday Autism Miracles with Shannon Penrod. Friday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com.
Get ready to live La Bella Vita with Dawn Catherine on TogiNet.com. Live La Bella Vita. If you're wanting to know all the beauty tricks of the trade and the latest fashion trends before everyone else, this is your show. If you admire celebrities' beauty and their fashion sense, this is your show. Do you love wine and want to know more about the process it takes to make wine from the vine to the bottle? This is your show. Live La Bella Vita.
For more on the show and your host, check out our website, labellavitacosmetico.com. This is the kind of show you can sink your teeth into if you enjoy traveling and food and family, all with an Italian flair. Then you can live La Bella Vita with your host, Dawn Catherine. Wednesday nights at midnight, 11 p.m. Central, on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd. And for those of you that missed the first half of the show, you can check us out on iTunes under Military Mom Talk Radio. You can also hear us on our website, the .com by the same name, militarymomtalkradio.com. We have broadcasts spanning the past 3.5 years that we've been on the air, or you can check us out on toginet.com, TOGINET.com, which is our host station out of Texas. We want to thank Sabrina for running the show today. And we are going to bring on Stephen Appelbaum. He is the president of Animal Behavioral College. And what's cool about this guy is he's been a professional dog trainer for over 30 years. And he also served in the military. He enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1977, where he worked as a security specialist and a patrol dog handler and trainer. And Steve, I just have to ask you, how was that? What was that like? 1977, dog handler, dog trainer. You got to give me just 2 seconds about what that experience was like.
Well, I mean, it's a completely different time, and I'm a completely different person. I mean, it's funny when people ask me how long I've been in this business, I normally kind of mumble the answer, 30. As the numbers get higher, it just seems. I'm an Air Force veteran. I'm a United States military veteran. Battle of Gettysburg. It goes back a few years. I was in service during the Iran hostage crisis. Although I was stateside, but we were all young and we're all raring to go, and it was that kind of an environment. The canine program over at Lackland was not that old at that point. I mean, it's certainly, my understanding is it's changed a bit since then. They were using mostly German Shepherds in those days, and I don't believe they're using mostly German Shepherds today. But it was a fantastic experience for me, and I'm glad every day I wake up that I did what I did.
That's so cool. I just think it's really great because Robin and I are huge animal people over here. We do a lot of shows about, freedom dogs. We have Horses for Heroes coming up. I mean, big animal advocates. And so far as even Robin's cat playing the piano on the air.
Last segment, I know, wasn't that funny?
That was hilarious.
Well, also what we were talking about last segment, and Steve, was the fact that sometimes military spouses are given challenges as to what they are doing while they are in a place that they never thought they would be. And I think your Animal Behavior College certainly has an option. Would you say so, Steve?
Yeah, I absolutely would. I think the way our programs are structured makes them really ideal for military life. I mean, one of the challenges, as everybody knows, is change of station. I mean, you can start in Maine and wind up in San Diego. You wish, but it's real. And how does one go to school during that period of time? I mean, if you look at a traditional school, whether it's vocational college or university or any kind of traditional school where there's a physical classroom, if you're taking classes in Maine and suddenly you're transferred to San Diego, unless there's a satellite school in San Diego or anywhere else you happen to get transferred to, it becomes very difficult for you to maintain any kind of continuity in education. But because these programs, our programs, are distance learning coupled with an externship, where we will pair you with a professional in your chosen field of study, and we have mentors, whether they're professional dog trainers if you're in that program, or veterinary hospitals if you're in the veterinary assistant program, or professional groomers if you're in the grooming program. We have mentors, working professionals in all 50 states, which means you literally can start in Maine and finish your training in San Diego, or, like I said, wherever you go. So from that standpoint, it's fantastic. Then after you graduate, I mean, look, anybody that guarantees you a job, I'd be very, very skeptical of any guarantees like that. But when you look at the fact that there are roughly 20,000 veterinary hospitals in the United States, about the same number of grooming salons, and there are something in the vicinity of 70 million dogs and about 90 million cats in this country, it means that there are opportunities literally anywhere you are stationed, certainly in North America, to ply your trade, whether it's as a professional trainer, whether you want to work in a veterinary hospital, or whether you want to be a groomer. So they're viable vocations for people once they've graduated. And that's what makes the program a good program besides. I mean, the military community makes up roughly 24% of our student body. So we've got a huge student body outside the military for similar reasons. I mean, it's a really good program, but it is absolutely fantastic for military families.
Which came first, your love to find options for military families, or your love of animals?
My love of animals definitely came first. The program started in 1999. And we've been working through the Military Spouse Career Advancement Program since I believe 2010. So it's a relatively recent experience for us, but it's been a fantastic one. But no, the programs existed long before we were aware of the incredible need. Truth is, we got involved in the program because several of our students who happened to be military spouses told us about it and said, my gosh, you guys got to get involved with this. Well, what is this? And they told us, and then we looked, and sure enough, we had to get involved with it. It was fantastic.
I'm fascinated by this, and I loved your term externship. I picked up on that. Yes. That's phenomenal that you've created this extreme network so that people can go out and have these training, hands-on training programs.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's funny because people not in the pet world, when they hear about this, some of them, they kind of look at you funny, like, really? Can you make a living doing this? I mean, yeah, people understand, groomers can certainly make a living, but it's just the idea of it strikes some people as just a little, if not implausible, a little questionable, until they realize that the pet business as a whole is a $50 billion a year business in the United States. It's bigger than the toy business. So there are tremendous opportunities for people that want to get involved. And, of course, then we have people all over the country that get involved, not because their primary focus is to make a living, although clearly for most people, especially in today's economic times, it is a focus. But we have a percentage of our student body that does this because they genuinely want to help animals, and they will donate their time just to an incredible degree. We have roughly 5% of our student body that, especially on the dog trainer program, the one where we train them to become professional dog trainers, 5% of those graduates never go into business to charge people a dime. I mean, when I first heard this, I didn't believe it, but we checked it, and it seems to be true. 5% of these people simply donate their time to animal shelters and rescues all across the country just to make it easier for these dogs to be adopted, easier for them to find forever homes. They're not interested. I mean, you hear the old adage, it's not about the money. And everybody kind of rolls their eyes when they hear that, because so often when people say that, it's about the money. In this case, it's not about the money. It's about the love of making a difference in people's lives and the pets' lives and the people who love them.
Well, and Steve, I think that's so important. You know, I do web work for a lot of different animal charities here in Los Angeles. And I remember with the Amanda Foundation down in Beverly Hills, you would think, oh, Beverly Hills, they have lots of money. And, you know, they really relied on, you know, people coming in. And I remember these two girls coming in and they would groom the dogs. They were volunteer groomers. And even these beautiful, beautiful girls with these beautiful, beautiful dogs, nothing would happen for these animals until you put that pink bow on them, and they're all cute and cuddly, and they're, you know, they just look so perfect, and you couldn't help but take them home. That's how I ended up with 4.
Yeah, and that's funny. I mean, I'm in LA too, so I'm very familiar with what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like if you didn't have volunteer groomers, these dogs come in and, you know, I have 4 rescues and they were disasters, you know, before they came to me. And once they had a bath and a, you know, a good meal and a good night's sleep and a nice haircut, like all of us, they perk right up. Yeah. And perky dogs have a better chance, all animals with great personalities have a better chance of getting a happy home.
Absolutely. Perky dogs have a better chance. Dogs that are nicely groomed aesthetically are more appealing. They have a better chance. And certainly dogs that are properly trained not only have a better chance of being adopted, they have a better chance of staying adopted. The recidivism rate is lower. So it's we have a program with our it's part of the prerequisite for being in our dog trainer course that we call Students Saving Lives. And basically what it is that we ask all of our students to donate a minimum of 10 hours to a local animal shelter working with them before they graduate. Now, when we first set this up, we made it voluntary because, quite frankly, I would have made it mandatory, but we were told we couldn't. It had to be a voluntary part of the program. Fine, it's okay, it's voluntary, and it really is. Well over 90% of our students fulfill their voluntary obligations, which means since 2004, we have had, and again, this number, when I first heard it, just struck me as being just insane, over 80,000 hours donated to animal shelters since 2004, and that's not a, well, it wouldn't be a misprint because we're not writing it. That's a genuine statistic.
Wow.
So it's I know, it's crazy, and it just shows how dedicated people are that get into this business. And
I think there has to be a love first, but I don't think you can go into this career thinking that you're not going to be in love with these animals. Steve, we have to say thank you and goodbye. I want everyone to find you. What is your website?
Please find us. That would be fantastic.
Yes.
We've had over 2,700 military students enroll since we started this program, and we'd love for as many people that get involved, that want to get involved, to be involved. Just go to animalbehaviorcollege.com.
Excellent. Steve Appelbaum, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us and in getting us excited about all these opportunities. Thanks so much.
An absolute pleasure, and call me anytime.
Wonderful. Coming up after the break, we have Dwight Jon Zimmerman. He's a best-selling and award-winning author. He's a radio show host, a producer, and a member of our favorite group, Military Writers Society of America. Be back in a moment.
The home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
What time is it? It's MILF and Cookies time. Join the rowdy and fun world of Shannon and Amy, two moms I'd like to Facebook, and catch a glimpse of these two best friends as they enjoy their MILF status and devise ways to keep it. They, along with their special guests, will happily reveal their best-kept secrets on how to feel beautiful from the inside out. Some of the fun segments include Happy Hour with Skinny Girl Margaritas, Confessions of a Bad Eater, Making Your Own Money is So Hot, Tips for keeping your MILF status. And don't forget the cookies. We're still moms after all. And best friends are like a good brawl. They never leave you hanging. Shannon represents the ladies in their 40s and is also a woman who came into her cool status late in life after a good long run with a glee club. Amy, on the other hand, is walking the 30 set and as a high school cheerleader has pretty much been cool her whole life. Hook up with hosts Shannon and Amy every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Central for MILF and Cookies here on the Rockstar Radio Network.
There's more living for you to do. Yes. Start living inspired. Be here for Living Inspired with Tricia Goyer, Thursday afternoons at 4, 3 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Tricia will dig deep into topics that matter most to women, inspiring women to make a change in their own lives and to make a difference in the world, and maybe even deep within their own hearts. Tricia is a wife, mom, speaker, family expert, and author of 24 books. For more information on Tricia and living inspired, go to her website, TriciaGoyer.com. That's TriciaGoyer.com. Tricia's vision is to be the voice of hope and possibility for women of all ages. Her intention is to serve ordinary women by encouraging extraordinary things with God's help. Tricia expresses real life, real hope for real women. Is there more living for you to do? Yes. Start living inspired. Living Inspired with Tricia Goyer. Thursday afternoons at 4, 3 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd. And for those of you that want to know the websites for today's show, we had Lori Bell at NAMMAS, NAMMAS, and we had Steve Appelbaum at the Animal Behavioral College, just like it sounds. And Robin, I just have to tell you my Misty story, because it's just, to me, it's like one of the funniest dog stories ever. And after that build-up, I'll probably blow it. But I was living in Beverly Hills in this tiny, tiny little shoebox, and I would hide my dog that I got through the rescue that I was volunteering for. I would hide it every single day, bring it to work with me, put it under my desk, and then bring her home. And she was a former show dog, and she was unbelievably spoiled. And I would groom her myself, but when I got too busy at work, I decided to call this mobile pet groomer. And you have to imagine, in the heart of Beverly Hills, everything's all fancy. Well, this big clunky mobile pet groomer truck shows up, and I was so excited because I'd never had her have a professional grooming. I was so proud. I put her in there. The lady took her. My dog screamed. It was like, and she screamed so loud and so long that people were coming out of these fancy condos, looking in the windows of this big van. I'm like, yes, here, that's my dog. This is me. She couldn't groom her. Misty comes plopping out of the car. She was a Tibetan Terrier, former show dog, completely natty, half haircut, and the groomer just said, I can't do anything with this dog.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
That was my only one chance to get her professionally groomed in Beverly Hills, and she blew it.
Well, you see, we're just going to have to go to someone who's been to the Animal Behavior College, because they will know. They will know. Well, speaking of stories, we have somebody who has, oh my goodness, a plethora of stories, and I'm sure there's lots more to come.
Oh, I was so excited. Dwight Jon Zimmerman has taken over as president this past weekend for Military Writers Society of America. And, he's been so great to come on today at the last minute. We want to shout out to Joyce Faulkner, former president, and who was the host of our Writers Corner today, because she has a bad back and she is having some trouble. So we're going to send some healing thoughts and energy to her, and thank
Absolutely.
Dwight Jon Zimmerman for coming on. He's like super famous, and we're really proud of all his accomplishments for military history. Dwight, are you with us?
Yes, I am, and thank you so much for the kind words. Could you tell my mom that, please?
Well, first of all, we've got to say congratulations. This is exciting that you are going to be heading up the Writers Society of Military Writers Society of America.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Yes, it is exciting. It's also very humbling. It was a tremendous honor for me to be asked and selected for that. Yes, my thoughts go out to Joyce. When I learned of the news about her situation, fortunately, as I understand, it's not overly serious, but it was obviously serious enough that she had to have it taken care of. Joyce has done a great job with the organization during her tenure. and I can't say enough good things about what she's done. So what I'm doing is trying to build on her legacy and the legacy of the people who preceded her, because it really, Military Writers Society of America is really an astonishing and excellent organization. Just to say, when I heard about it, which is now 5 years ago, I mean, I'm a civilian. Now, I have written a wide variety of military history books. Anyone who goes onto Amazon or Googles my name is going to find a very bohemian, eclectic mix of material. Because I started out in Marvel Comics and then went right on through into military history. So not to get into that stuff, because that's really a long story. But the point is, when I applied to the organization, I said, "Hey, look, I'm not a veteran, but I've written military history. I am very fascinated by military history. I've loved it, and I really respect anyone and everyone who has served in uniform. And I would be honored, if you could accept me as a member," which they did. And that first year, the first book that I submitted, which is called The Book of War, wound up winning the gold medal, and then things just went from there.
Well, I know that so many times people might initially sort of smile when they find out that you had a history at Topps and Marvel Comics. But
so yes.
I honestly think that is exciting, in that I immediately thought of Bill Malden's Up Front and Willie and Joe, and how people got through World War II delighted to read what was happening to Willie and Joe. So I could instantly see the connection, to tell you the truth. And then when you published Vietnam War, your graphic history, that was all done with an illustrator's hand. And I love thinking that this was a great approach to be talking about military history.
Well, I'm so happy that you said that, because I really invested a lot into that. I was a kid growing up during the Vietnam War, and my overarching question was, why? If we're in a war, why aren't we in it to win it? Now, obviously, a lot of adults were asking that self-same question, which is what helped tear apart our country. So this was my attempt to explain to today's audience, particularly kids, because they would hear it from, their grandparents, things about the war, or they'd hear tangentially, from other people, about the Vietnam War, because it really does continue to cast a shadow. Periodically you'll even hear, politicians refer in one way or another, this is not another Vietnam. And here was my attempt to put into a format, linking my comic book experience with my military history experience, uniting that to make accessible to a younger audience the story of a very complex and controversial war. I'm happy to say it's received numerous awards. It's gotten great critical acclaim, and I am just so proud of it. Wayne Van Zandt, my artist on that, was an absolute delight to work with. He did so many powerful illustrations. So thank you for mentioning that, because, yes, I'm very proud of that book.
I can see why. And I think, too, as years go on, some of the challenges of the Vietnam War being somewhat the benchmark of every other conflict that's come along, I think it does have a different flavor every decade that comes by. And that being the case, I think it's so important for writers to document what their experiences had been, or what their immediate issues were then, because I think every decade that goes by, something either gets more convoluted or gets, I don't want to say twisted, because that's not really true. I think the story does change, and we want to sort of take away a little bit of that emotion and start being able to talk about what did our military do, what did our people accomplish, and I think that's important for recovering what great things the military did accomplish.
You're quite right there. I have two stories along that line. One is during the creative process in producing, writing the Vietnam graphic history. My editor, Howard Zimmerman, no relation, and I've known him for decades. Excuse me, because the publishing industry here in New York, for as big as it is, it's actually a small community. And he and I crossed paths, in our mutual careers many times before we wound up actually working together. And he was, he's older than me, and he was actively involved in the anti-war movement during the Vietnam era. Whereas me, I was I was in my early teens. And when we, to tell you how emotional and how much of a flashpoint it still is, given all the decades that have passed, he and I actually locked horns on a couple of issues.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, the point was that when I submitted my first draft of the script, he said, "You didn't include enough on the anti-war movement." So I reviewed the script, and actually he had a valid point. I really was emphasizing what was going on in Vietnam and not paying as much attention to what was happening in the United States. And, when I balanced it out, I said, he's right, because it wasn't just what was going on there, because it was so contentious. So I went through and I reviewed, and I saw places where I could, delete without really negatively impacting on what was happening militarily in Vietnam.
Yeah.
It was I would call it a surgical edit, as it were.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Mr. Zimmerman, we only have about a minute left to this show, but
goodness,
now that you
sorry.
are in the seat of command at the Military Writers Society, I do hope that we can have you back frequently. There's so many more questions I have to ask you, and I do hope that we have the pleasure and good fortune to have you back very soon.
It is such a nice experience here. I'm so happy, to be here, and obviously I can talk on and on and on and on and on.
Well, I'm going to take you up on it. We're going to have you back very, very soon. I want to encourage everyone to listen to Mr. Zimmerman at veteransradio.net. He has a show monthly, I believe it is, at Ease. Do look him up there. And next week, I want everybody to be sure to tune in. We have Suzanne Phillips coming to us from the Healing Couples PTSD program that she does. And we also have Catherine Price, Shot from the Sky. Do tune in next week. We look forward to having you all back at Military Mom Talk Radio. Bye now.